Welcome to the Behind the Art Inspiration Podcast, a sneak peek into the studio practices of all types of artists, conversations for artists and fans of art who are sophisticated and savvy. I'm your host and curator, Caroline Karp. Let's get to it. Well, welcome everyone. This is episode number 3 of the Behind the Art Inspiration Podcast. And in this episode, I'll be virtually traveling from my Safety Harbor studio all the way across the Atlantic to Valencia, Spain, and into the studio of my friend and artist, Adela. Adela happens to be in the International Online Art Collective. How are you doing today, Adela?
I'm doing very good, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me today and for being like one of my first interviewees.
My pleasure. Yeah, it's a good icebreaker, and it's very nice to connect with a lot of artists in the academy and our group that we created. So I really love it. Yeah.
So I want to dive right in because I'm looking at the artwork behind you, and it's very intriguing. And I know that you're doing a series called Duality.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the series is called Duality, and I've been working on it for the past maybe 5 months or something like this. Actually, it's kind of simultaneous with the pandemic. When they started the lockdown in Spain, it was quite, something different to not be able to go out from the house. And I think we are lucky that we are artists. So I just poured myself into the art. Basically, it's I think the one thing that kept me sane during those times and busy. Yeah, it's a bit weird for me to hear that people are getting bored for not being able to go outside, because for me it's hard to find time to paint, actually. So I really appreciate it. And
absolutely loved that time period. I mean, I know everything was going on bad, but I did like being in my studio for sure.
Yeah, these days I'm a bit busy with my other work that I'm doing, because I'm also a web designer and illustrator. So I'm a bit busy with that, and I haven't been able to continue working on my series for the past week, and that's been that's been a bit not so ideal. But I'm gathering all the creative juices in the meantime, so I know that when I'm going back to continue working on the painting that I have right now on my easel, it's gonna be good. Yeah.
I would love to hear exactly what you mean by duality and what you're trying to convey to your audience. I've seen a lot of your artwork; like it's gorgeous.
Thank you. So with the duality, I was exploring the quantum theory and of the observing the waveform, and when you observe the waveform, it's crashing. So basically, exploring different planes of existence that happen simultaneously, depending on the perspective of the observer. So duality, basically, it doesn't have to only be two faces. It could be a multitude. I just chose two as a starter. Maybe later on in my work, while exploring this subject, I'm gonna change it and add a multitude of different faces. So basically, the observer is mirroring his own state, and he's observing what he has inside. So for example, this one behind me, it's basically the same person in two states. And they don't have to be polarized. They don't have to be contrary states. They can just be different moments in your life, or the same moment, but in a parallel universe. Basically, I don't know if it has a lot of meaning for me, because I like to read spiritual books and about self development. So then I was tying together this with what I studied in university, and yeah, it's something to explore and has a lot to offer.
What are the two states that I'm looking at here?
This one, she's thinking about something, and the hand can be used both with both faces. Basically, it doesn't belong to one or the other. Actually, it's shared. And
Right.
so in one state, you can see it, you can see her from the side that she's putting her hair on the side, and in the other state, she's still using the hand on this hair. And the other one basically has two different states of mind somehow. She's looking in different points, different perspectives, basically.
It's amazing because when I look at it, the hand that's over the head looks like it's about to jump off the canvas. It is so realistic, especially through the camera lens.
Yeah, thank you. I'm actually choosing paintings with hands because I'm having a bit of difficulty of painting hands, so I'm challenging myself.
I think you have it on the top hand. Bottom too, but it's actually quite amazing. Where do you get your people? Like who do you decide who to paint, and how do you come up with your images?
Those ones and this one, I have another one here. They are actually from stock photography that are free, and just because I don't have models to photograph, like because I live in Spain, and all my friends are all over the world.
Right.
And especially with the pandemic, I can't ask anybody, hey, can you come and pose for me?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm using images from websites, and also I have from the same series. I have a bunch of larger portraits that I'm using the photos of my friends that they posted in social media. So then I have to look on their profiles and see if they are good quality, and if I can make a composition together, because I'm using the photos in Photoshop and I play around with them until I get to something that I'm happy with.
Right.
And yeah, so I think that's the most difficult part, to find something that inspires me and something that I can use and that's good enough quality.
So you're kind of merging technology with your fine art ability.
Yes, but I'm not 100% satisfied with that, because I'm not using all the capabilities of technology yet. Basically, I'm just putting two faces and cutting them to match them, but I'm not using any effects or anything like that, which I could, and I think it would make the artwork even more interesting. But it's something to explore as well. It's so much that can be done on this subject. Is amazing.
Now, you mentioned that you also do other types of art, not just the portraiture duality, but you're multi-talented. What are your other forms that you want to tell me about?
Yes, I like experimenting with a lot of different mediums. I've experimented with alcohol-based inks. I've experimented with drawing. I've experimented with abstract acrylics. So I like everything, and this has been actually a challenge for me, because I'm trying to just go one route and concentrate in one thing. But I think this type of issue a lot of artists have. Yeah, so from time to time I create different artworks. Like I have here, for example, this is a pencil drawing.
Oh wow, yes.
Oops, I don't know.
I can see it, yep.
Yeah, so this is quite different, but not that different, because it's still figurative.
Mm-hmm.
This is something with alcohol-based things.
Right. Oh, beautiful.
There's a glare there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have a lot other paintings that are more abstract, but this is basically my last year's phase where I was exploring acrylics, and I went back to my roots, which are actually oil colors and figurative painting, because this is what I started with about 25, 30 years ago. Yeah.
So Adela, if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
So they can find me on my website. It's adelacreative.com, and Adela Creative in Instagram or Facebook, also on Etsy. Basically everywhere I'm with Adela Creative.
So she's Adela Acrylic. No, Adela Creative.
Yeah.
Adela, I almost said Adela Acrylic, but Adela Creative.
That would have been a good one, yeah, for acrylic artists.
You would have flown up there. So I want to thank you, everybody, so much for watching and listening as I share. And a little bit about this podcast is in March of 2020, I had the vision of starting the International Online Art Collective. And it's a diverse group of artists from around the world who value the power of art to inspire, provoke, and heal. The power of this group is in connection. And from this, a podcast is born. First, interviewing these artists, and then I'll be branching out to all types of artists. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching this week's episode, and I will see you in next week's episode. And Adela, stay on because I'm going to keep talking to you, but I'm going to sign off here.